Hey guys, Benny the Comicstorian here, and I'm going to be bringing you another one of my court-mandated vlogs. Yeah, that's right, this is my version of community service, and for those of you guys wondering what did I do to deserve this, it's a joke. I don't know why you guys thought I was serious in the last vlog. I'm trying to think of a funny way to intro it, and making it court-mandated seems to make sense. But today I want to talk to you about a very interesting topic. A lot of people ask me about this, and they ask my opinions on it, and they ask what I think about it. And the question I want to ask is today, what happened to my favorite superhero? Now, what I'm talking about is, let's say you have a particular run of a superhero that you really enjoyed, you liked the last 10 to 12 issues, and then out of the blue, the story completely changes, the supporting cast rotates out. This happens quite a bit in Green Arrow when they tried to introduce Diggle and Felicity into the comic book series, but all of that rotates out, and it changes, and you're like, what's going on? They had a plot going on over here that's not gonna finish. We had a plot on this side that isn't finishing. This hasn't been answered in 30 issues. What's happening? And right now, this is happening in Supergirl. It is. But before I give you the answer, I just want to take 2 seconds to remind you guys who don't know yet that I wrote a book with 2 of the other guys on the team here at Comicstorian. Me, Dan, and Jason wrote this book, Comic Book Movies, The Rise of Comic Book Movies. And the book is about how comic book movies started amazing with the first Superman and the first Batman, and then how they went downhill to things like the TV version of Nick Fury with David Hasselhoff, and then how from there they went to the highest grossing films ever with the Avengers movie. So that's what the book's about. It has our opinions, it has reviews of all the movies involved. We're really proud about it, and any support we get from you guys, we really, really do appreciate. So that's pretty much that. I just wanted to let you guys know about that, but let's go ahead and answer your question. So for the sake of discussing this and helping you guys understand what goes on in the comic book world, for those of you guys who don't know, you have to look at a comic book writer as a season to a TV show. So let's say Benny wrote 10 issues of Green Lantern, but Benny planned to write 20 issues of the Green Lantern. Now at issue 8, my publisher told me, hey, your book's not selling, so we're gonna cancel your run at 10 and we're gonna bring in a new person. So that means all of the story arcs that I had been starting and threads that I had been starting are now going to be cut short into a 10-issue run, and someone else is gonna come on board and write a completely new story. That kind of thing happens a lot in comic books. If the book's not selling, they try to rotate out the individual. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up today is because this is happening right now in the Supergirl comic book. In the New 52, Supergirl arrived. She had no family, she had no job, she was trying to find her way in the world. She got a friend, she couldn't speak English. The story was about an alien in our world, but she didn't have the upbringing of Clark Kent. I really did enjoy it, but the last storyline involved her going to a Hogwarts-style school to learn her powers. And then the book was canceled. I'm assuming everyone disliked the Hogwarts-style story as much as I did. But it got canceled, and they are now bringing it back because of the TV show. Well, there's a new writer on it. And one of the first things he does is corrects all of the hanging plot threads that he could correct, such as giving back her powers and answering what happened to her father, or at least not what happened, but where her father is. And then he moves on with his own story. Now she's gonna be in high school, she has a foster family, she can speak English, and we're gonna pretty much mimic the TV show. And a lot of people have sent me tweets going, why is this? What happened? Is DC just going to ignore all of the old plot lines? Yeah, they are. Because basically this is just like the writers changed out on your favorite TV show. The season ended, it wasn't doing well, so they just dropped all those plot lines and moved on to something else. And like I said, a lot of you guys are gonna watch this and be like, well, that makes sense. But a lot of people aren't aware of that. They aren't aware that comic books function in the same reality as that, and that writers change. Sometimes you'll have a writer on a book for 50 issues, like Scott Snyder doing Batman. Sometimes you'll have a writer on a book for 6 issues. They start a bunch of stuff, they have a bunch of great plans, and then they get canceled. And they get pulled off the book, and they get put on something else, and your favorite story gets canceled, and that's the end of it. The next writer may or may not tell his story, and it'll be his version of what happened, or he may try to pick up the loose threads. You don't know. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get at with this video, to make you guys aware that with the new Supergirl, it looks like we're starting over again. It's not a reboot, it's nothing like that. All the old stuff happened, but any of the plot lines that weren't answered, it does not look like we're getting answers to that. And that happens a lot of times in stuff like The Flash. Robert Venditti wrote The Flash up to the 52nd issue, and I spoke with him, and he had a lot of great plans, but DC decided to reboot. Well, not reboot, they did the Rebirth, which started all the issues at #1. and he just didn't have the time to write the Flash anymore, so they brought in Joshua Williamson. Joshua Williamson has his own plans for the Flash, his own story and his own intentions. That's what we're getting. We're getting his story. You may or may not like his story, but the point of this video is to let you know that your favorite versions of these superheroes, they're gone. If you're a fan of Scott Snyder's Batman, he's gone. Now, Scott Snyder's writing All-Star Batman. That's a different story. That's a different issue unto itself. I love the book. But if you wanted Scott Snyder Batman, it's done. It's over. You're not getting it again. Tom King, who's now come on to Batman, is writing the Tom King Batman. He's not writing Scott Snyder Batman. He's writing Tom King Batman. And this applies to your favorite shows as well. So some people are like, why don't we get Teen Titans the next season to continue the plot? And some people are like, why don't we get Young Justice season 3? The fact of the matter is, even if there was money to do it, which a lot of times there isn't, you then have to get all of the same actors, all of the same writers, and everything, so that the characters will act properly, they won't act out of character, things won't be missing and out of place. And that's what I wanted to get at with this. Another great example before I close out this video, Injustice. So a lot of people like years 1, 2, and 3 of Injustice. That was written by Tom Taylor. I think it was season 3 that he left, or year 3 that he left. Either way, once he did leave, we got Brian Buccellato. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I might be wrong. But we got Brian Buccellato, who's a great writer unto himself, but he came into the middle of Tom Taylor's storyline and he tried to continue it. And he's doing it right now. But if you watch, I know for a fact it's year 4 and 5, because those are the 2 that he definitely did. But if you watch the videos I did on those, you'll definitely get a different sense of tone and the attitudes from the characters, because it's not the same guy writing it. Tom Taylor is not writing those years. He wrote the starter years. So that's a great example for a lot of people who have watched the videos on the channel, because that is a core storyline. But that's what I wanted to get at. Supergirl's come out. We have a whole new storyline, whole new character. It's almost as if they started up with like Supergirl got canceled and we did a new season, and that's what we're looking at. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this is good, or do you think that this is bad? Do you think that DC should have like an outline of how a character should act in storylines that are going on and they force writers to copy that? Or do you like the idea that each writer can tell their own story? And I want your legit opinions on that. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to chat with me more directly, you can follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian or Instagram at Comicstorian. I answer you on both of those things. And I guess I'll see you guys next time right here at my court-mandated vlog session.